Hey there, John here. Hope you're doing great. Got a lot of thoughts to share with you today. Just want to know if you can hear me and see me. I am coming to you live from San Diego. A little bit sunny, which is great. And I want to talk about the law of attraction, fact versus fiction. Hey there, Shashin. How you doing, my buddy? The great law of energy, knowledge versus skill, or knowledge versus ignorance, how beliefs drive perspective and behaviors, plus a whole lot more. So first and foremost, if you can hear me and see me, just hit the like or leave me a comment so I can at least know that my technology is working. I'm using my remote technology right now. So hey there, Joy and Kristen. Hey there. So there's just so much going on. I've done a few live sessions over the last 48 hours around this coronavirus, and want to make sure that I'm keeping you up to date, just sharing my thoughts with you. I consider you part of my tribe and in the environment since you follow my work, but also as a member of the human race, and the fact that we're all in this together. And so I just want to acknowledge you for being in the orbit and being in the discussion. When this coronavirus hit in November, December, I don't think a lot of people, at least in the United States, Canada, maybe even Europe, thought much about what is this? A virus. It's the flu. How bad can it be? I was reminded by some very, very good friends of mine who are really pretty brilliant in the scientific world of research. If you talk about water, you could talk about water, like on the surface, but you can also talk about the components of water, and there's many, many different layers of your knowledge and understanding. And so I've been seeking for myself and my family to educate myself as much as possible on, what is this? Why do some people believe it's worthy of some serious concern? Other people really don't give a shit about it. And where do I fall into it? And so, one of my beliefs is knowledge gives us the ability to make better decisions, and so I'm consistently educating myself and wanted to share, whatever I have learned about it. And here's what I've learned. I'm going to share with you. I'm going to talk, as I mentioned, about the law of attraction, fact versus fiction, the great law of energy, knowledge versus ignorance, how your beliefs drive your perspective and your behaviors. Plus, we'll get into a whole lot more. Does that sound like some good topics? And if it does, just let me know. Just communicate with me. I like to see what you're doing, and at any time if you want to share this, so we can get into a discussion, that would be great. I want to talk about the law of attraction for just a moment, and it stems from a post that I made earlier today, and somebody commented on, if you keep focusing on this virus, you're going to attract it, and I'm like, excuse me. No, you don't attract, a virus in that manner. Virus is spread between people. When we're in close proximity, we're touching each other. We touch surfaces, doorknobs, light switches, computers, cell phones. We touch our hands on shopping carts, and then our faces, and we transmit it that way. This particular virus we don't have a vaccine for, so it's not like, getting smallpox, right? We have vaccines for that. This is a brand new virus in the human body, and that means that we don't have the antibodies to fight it. And I know earlier, I think it was on my Facebook fan page, I posted something, and many of you know the math around this. What would you prefer to have, $1 million or a penny starting on day one, but it doubles every single day? So maybe you can answer that, right? What would you prefer, $1 million right now or a penny every day that doubles, the next day? So a penny today, 2 pennies tomorrow, 4 cents the next day, 8 cents the next day, 16 the next day, and so forth. What would you prefer? That'll be interesting just to, have a little bit of fun with that. Do you prefer, $1 million cash right now, or a penny that doubles every 2 days, right, or every next day? I'd love to just see your comments. I think you all know, this little graph that we've had. Well, it's the same thing whether you have a lily pad and you have, a certain size lily pad, you have 1 lily pad and there's 2 the next day and 4 the next day, and so forth. It's just a matter of time with the dollar. You pretty much are better off taking the $1 million today if you only go to like day number 28 or 29. But on day 29, that 700,000 or 600 and some odd thousand dollars that you have goes to 1.2 or 1.3 million. Well, a virus works like that. It's one person gets infected and they infect 5, and those 5 people infect 5. That's 25, and those 25 people infect 5, and it starts to become exponential. So first and foremost, the key to understand is that the nature of a virus is you could look extremely healthy, you could feel great, but you could still be carrying the virus and passing it on to people. And so this social distancing recommendations and the shutting down of bars, restaurants, gatherings, events, nightclubs, coffee shops, or self-selecting to stay in your homes to reduce the number of people, A, that get it, and B, that transmit it to others. That is a strategy to be able for us to contain the spreading of the virus on our own. Before, in the United States, we have the tests to see who has it and who doesn't, and the rate at which it's expanding. Right now, the first place to have it was China. They seem to have got it contained, but remember, it started there in like November, December time frame. So that's December, January, February, 4 months it's taken them to contain it. Italy didn't contain it as fast, and it is growing rapidly there. 3,500 cases in just the last 24 hours, over 1,000 deaths. And so the point is not to panic. In some of the documents that I've posted, the first thing you want to do is stay calm so you can respond versus be fearful, anxiety-laden, worried, so you react. So first and foremost, it's calm to respond. But I want to come back to the law of attraction piece to this, where this woman, was saying that, if you think about it a lot, you're going to attract it. And, I just don't agree. This law of attraction doesn't work that way. If you think about something, you attract it. If you don't think about it, you don't attract it. And it certainly doesn't work that way in a virus. Now, something to keep in mind around nature, and I'm going to talk about the law of energy. And I've got a whole bunch of thoughts on this. Everything in the universe that we're aware of is made up of energy. My hands, my sunglasses or my reading glasses, my earphones, my computer, the chair that my computer is sitting on outside here. It's made up of energy. And why do I want to start off with that? Well, I want to start off with that because energy is supposed to be in flow. And there's a specific thing that I wanted to talk about. My wife and I were talking today, just down the street where we live here in Southern California. There's a bunch of, coffee shops, restaurants, stores that we frequent, that the people that are working there are being affected by this as well. And so an idea that we had that we'd love you to consider participating with is there a way that you could keep the energy? Money is energy. It's a means of exchange. Can you buy some gift cards from these businesses that need cash flow right now? Can you go and tip, some of the restaurant workers, service workers that provide you and your family services in the neighborhoods because they're going to be impacted? Now, why am I suggesting this? I'm suggesting this as a way to keep the flow going. A lot of times, we're thinking about being safe, which I agree with. I want you to be safe and have more than enough for you and your family and to be secure. If you happen to have a little bit extra, keep it in flow. So you can keep good comments in flow. You can keep positivity in flow. You can keep, you can, go and give a little bit, to the people in your sphere of influence. Let's keep our businesses flowing, okay, with the cash they need to pay employees, to pay suppliers, and as much as, I like to be cautious and safe, there's also another side of it, right, that we live in an abundant universe and there's more than enough, for all of us. So let's keep everything, in flow to the best of our abilities. And so I'm going to shift from, the great law of energy. Energy flows. And if we try to stop that energy because we are acting out of fear versus out of, an abundance and awareness, it can have a detrimental effect on a lot of people. That doesn't need to happen. So let's talk for a moment about knowledge versus ignorance. Now, I want everybody to understand, when I say that I am ignorant or you are ignorant, the definition of ignorance just means not knowing. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It doesn't mean I'm stupid. Just don't know. And so how do you find out information, about this virus? How do you, determine what's real from what's fiction? And the answer is you go to reputable individuals and you read a lot and you watch a lot and you cross-reference and cross-check, what this person or organization is saying versus another one. And with a little bit of digging beneath the surface, you start to realize that there's some common threads. When governments start to shut down, airlines, people coming in or out of their country, when governments start to close or ask restaurants to close and not to have gatherings of more than X number of people, when world-renowned health experts are saying we need to stay at home and not go out unless we need to for medical reasons or to get food. We shouldn't be congregating together. The spread of the virus is exponential when humans are in close proximity to each other. And so the question for us, right, starts to become, what can I do self-selectively to make it easier and better? And there's these graphs that I've been looking at that show that if we contain the virus by not spreading the number of people that get it, we can reduce the length of how long it's going to take, for us to see a curve of the virus not having such a massive impact on our society. Now, we know that people in their 70s with respiratory illnesses, who smoke, who are diabetic, type 1 or type 2 are most likely, to die from it, which is so sad. For selfish reasons, my mother is in a long-term hospital care right now, and they just asked all of the caregivers to leave. Nobody's allowed in or out of the hospital as of yesterday. We can't go to see her. We can't get her out of there. Nobody's allowed in or out. And so we want to make sure that, our parents, our grandparents are protected and that we're protected as well. So everything that we can do, to help this situation makes a lot of sense. Beverly, 1.5 million people die each year from fungal infections. Have you heard of that? Beverly, it's not a matter of dying from fungal infections or not. Millions of people died from chickenpox, but we came up with a vaccine for that, or millions more would die, 50 million to be, on the safe side. And so you're comparing apples to apples. It's not a matter of how many people are dying. It's around containing a virus that has a worldwide impact, okay? Businesses closing. Businesses are going to run out of cash. Airlines will go bankrupt. Everything that we know right now is going to be affected by this. It's already affected by this. And the question is, how do we act responsibly to deal with a known threat that is impacting the entire world. Now, somebody says, well, it's not impacting the entire world. Well, yes, it is. I've been posting links to find out all of the, the real numbers and the real research. In the United States, I think we're a little bit slow to catch this, but we can get ahead of the curve if we practice staying at home and call your friends and Skype with your friends and Zoom with your friends and FaceTime with your friends if you want to. But as part of, what is it that you can do for yourself? What can you do for your family? What can you do for your friends is upgrade your skill. The CDC, cdc.org, I'll type that in right now. Somebody else can type it in CDC. I can't see with all the sun here. cdc.org has got some really great information. And so let me shift over from, we've talked about the law of attraction, some fact versus fiction, the great law of energy, knowledge and ignorance. I've got some notes here. Beliefs. So let's talk about the neuroscience of this. I'm also going to talk about, stress and anxiety and worry in just a moment. But your beliefs, your beliefs are neural networks in your brain that act almost like the lens by which what your brain allows in and filters the rest out. So beliefs drive perspective of what you see, what you agree with, what you don't. Your beliefs create something called sensory scotomas. Scotoma in Latin means blind spots. And so a blind spot means that you don't see it, you don't hear it, you're unaware of it. And so if, for example, let me just give you an example of an educated way that I think we could be looking at this together so that we make better decisions together that benefit all of us. Let's say what I'm saying you don't believe or you don't agree with. Okay, so you don't believe it, that's fine, but I do believe it, and that's fine. Why not do some research to see why does that person believe it and what evidence does he or she have? And keep an open mind to see through another person's perspective, experience, brain, etc. So whenever you want to expand your intelligence, whenever you want to expand your own abilities, if you enjoy some of my work, and you may believe some of what I say, and I believe that, or other people believe that, and you don't, what I always try to do is say, well, show me how you believe that. Show me, what evidence do you have, and let me keep an open mind without being absolute around my beliefs. Because my beliefs are nothing more than feelings of certainty with enough references to create those feelings of certainty that something is right, something is real, something is not. And so right now when we have a pandemic on our hands, a virus, that is spreading like wildfire and killing more people per 1,000 cases at the time being, even without the ability to test, it's reason for us to be hyper aware and calm so we can respond. And if you agree with that, just give me a little, thumbs up or something on there. So let's just expand our awareness. Let's expand our knowledge. Let's expand our perspective and not allow our beliefs to keep us myopically looking at something or believing something that may harm us or a family member or a friend or our neighborhood. So that is something that is really important for us, is expanding your awareness and expanding your comfort zone. Challenge yourself, okay, to see if the other person just may be right. Just may be right. Maybe they're not. Maybe I'm not, and I'm okay with that. I can accept that. I prefer to be wrong, but to test the hypotheses, to test the research, to challenge the assumptions, okay? I prefer to be wrong and somebody else is right than to be wrong, okay, and we have a catastrophe on our hands. So I don't have any problem with being wrong, but I just want to make sure that I check all the boxes. I want to check the science. I want to check, the experts. I want to, separate the politics from the reality. I want to separate, everything and focus on human lives first, humanity, the businesses, people's livelihood, people's well-being, people getting back to, normal. And it's going to take us several months before we see, a sign of normal. All of the predictions, and all of the models, the prediction models, are that this is going to get a lot worse in the United States before it gets better. There are some places they've been able to regulate this a lot better because they went into automatic containment and had people basically isolated in their homes. And so just be aware, like why is it contained there but not contained here? Be curious. One of the ways to activate your intelligence and something called your neuroplasticity switch so you become smarter is curiosity. So be curious. Like, why are some intelligent people saying this and other intelligent people are saying that? And what are some people that I don't think are really intelligent saying this and that as well? It should be, It's what one of my friends used to say, things that make me go, I wonder why. How does she see that? How does he see that? Not why, how. How? Show me how you see that. What statistics, what numbers, what cases, what correlations are you finding? How are you seeing that? Show me so that I see that also. And if we believe, each other to be intelligent human beings created from the same source of supply, whatever you call that, then, we've been evolving for billions of years on a universal scale, for 2.5 million years as humans in one form or another called Homo erectus. So we have the intelligence in every one of our cells, right, from 2.5 million years of evolution, in you and in me and in every other human being. Why not love each other more? Why not respect each other more? Why not see each other's way from all of the years of experience that you have and all of the years of experience that your genetic makeup has that's within your DNA? Why not take all of that and let's use it to our advantage? Now, we're going to get through this. I know we will. We have in the past. We know what viruses are. We know how to create vaccines. That's not the issue. The issue is preservation of life. The issue is helping each other out. The issue is mitigating any of the collateral damage, that can happen out of ignorance. And I'm going to come back. If you just join me, ignorance is not stupidity. Ignorance just means not knowing. And let's play the game, as deep as we can and add all of our collective experiences, knowledge, skills, perspectives, and know-how to level the whole game up. You see, the high tide raises all boats, right? So this is for all of us, all right? And so that's what I wanted to talk about, beliefs-driving behaviors. And, then I'd love, what I'd love is, by the way, if you're enjoying this, please share this. If you don't enjoy this, then obviously you won't. But, if you're enjoying this dialogue and conversation, please share this. Let's get more people in the dialogue. I'm totally fine having an open dialogue. There's no need to, we can argue points, but we don't have to argue each other and who we are as human beings, right? Let's keep ourselves right up at the highest level of love and compassion and respect as human beings with different points of view that we don't agree on. I'm okay with you being right. I'm okay with you being wrong, and I'm okay being wrong, and I'm okay being right. I want to just grow and learn and be happy and have fun and give and love and share and have an amazing ride while I'm alive. And I want the same for you. So let's challenge each other. Okay, let's challenge each other to level up our knowledge, our skills, our awareness, our behaviors. Let's, find out, what the best way is to nip this virus in the proverbial butt, and let's rise above this. So let me share with you, what are you doing? I can tell you, I'm focusing on my immune system. I'm focusing on staying calm. I'm focusing on my health. I'm focusing on staying home 99% of the time. My wife and I just went for a little walk on the beach. We're staying away. By the way, there was something I shared earlier about go take, do something in your local neighborhood if you can for the local businesses. One of my immediate reactions on Friday was cancel my gym membership, which is there's a gym down the street, and I have a home gym here. And so I had my assistant cancel my gym membership on Friday. And then today I was like, if I cancel my gym membership, they can't stay open. They can't. They're going to lose money. They rely on my gym membership fees every month to stay open. I want them open when all this is over. And so tomorrow I'm calling and I'm actually saying, just take my money every month. Don't worry about, I think it's $84 a month. And for some people that's a lot. I understand. I'm just trying to make a point versus the money part. I want the business to be open in 60 days or 30 days or 90 days when I'm there. I want it to be clean. I want them. I don't want them to suffer. I want the employees to be there who take wonderful care of me when I'm there. I want the same level of service and kindness and care, with them that I want for, from my clients. So I want to keep this energy in flow. I don't want to put a stop on it. I want to continue the flow as much as I can. To the amount that I can. So I just want you to have a framework of thought of what can you do just to keep it a little bit in flow. I think we all know it's going to affect us possibly negatively, possibly in a disempowering way for a short period of time. And then the last thing I want to leave you on is this, okay? And I've mentioned this, yesterday, and I will again today. And thank you for sharing this for all of you that have shared this. Right? Yes, Leslie. So I want to share this with you as well. Many of you know that one of my passions, I've got many, but not just the brain and neuroscience and neuropsychology, but also quantum physics and quantum mechanics and how the whole universe operates at the quantum level. And one of the natural laws of the universe, that I wrote about in my first New York Times best-selling book, Having It All, was around the law of polarity. And we know that the great law is everything is energy. And the law of polarity says that, for every up there's a down, for every inside there's an outside, for every positron there's an electron, for every good there's a bad, etc. So while we are focusing on this, and I'm going to call it negative, even though I don't like to use the word negative very often. But while we're focusing on this virus and how it's negatively impacting, how it's disempowering towns, villages, companies, people, etc., the question that I always like to look at, and whether it's now or in 2 weeks or in a month or 3, is what can we do that is positive as a result of it or because of it? So what can we do in our lives, right, to be able to see the polarity, the polar opposite of it? We live in a universe that has absolute balance. Now, balance doesn't mean equal, right? When you are listening to music, you don't have everything playing at the same rate. Everything is flowing. Sometimes a little bit more of this, sometimes a little bit more of that, and it's that harmony that we want. But one of the things that I want every one of us to look at is, what's the good in this, if anything? Now, listen, it's really hard when people are dying. It's really hard when there's panic. I get it. And from a higher cortical functioning of our brains, okay, and we may not see it now. This may be the beginning of, something else. I don't know what it is yet. I'm looking for it. I'm trying to see more of it as well. But take a look at what could this mean if you have to stay home. Can you invest more time on your personal development and growth with your family? Can you do things that are healthier for you? Will this cause you to be even healthier to build your immune system? Will this I don't know. Be in the question. But be aware that in the universe that we live in, everything operates, in a harmonious way, even though at times events and things don't look like they are for the betterment of our species, etc. And so just be in the question. So I'd love to know from each one of you, what are you doing right now? Are you taking this seriously on a scale of 1 to 10, a 10, and you're acting accordingly? Is it a 3 or 4 or 5 for you? Share with me. I'm going to just read some of your comments. And if you've enjoyed this, I'm doing these randomly and just make a few notes. Give me a like or a love or a comment, so that I know that that you're there, you're watching. It's a little bit hard. I got my reading glasses on right now, and it's the clouds are overhead right now. So yeah, if you're enjoying this, give me a little like or love. Give me a comment. What are you doing? During this challenge. We had the wave in China. Now it's Spain. Planes were turned around yesterday from Spain. They wouldn't let them land. Now it's hitting Europe. The epicenter is Europe. The United States, we've had, several weeks now of it's rearing its viral head over here, and it's going to start taking off over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And since we don't have enough kits to even test, healthy people could be walking around with it like me and passing it to other people. So I'm quarantining with my wife and my mother-in-law and our kids as well. So what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing with your kids, your parents, your husband, your wife, your friends, your boyfriend, your girlfriend? Yeah, Norway, Ingrid, I've heard is being hit really bad. I have clients and friends in Norway. A lot of you are staying home. I'm just reading your comments, reading more, meditating more. Yeah, I'm doing probably 2 meditations to 3 meditations a day. I'm taking time every hour just to be focused, aware. I'm reading a lot. I'm watching a lot. And again, I'm getting some notes here. Thank you for sharing this as well. Denmark is closed. Many of you are staying home. Yeah, we're basically, I went to the grocery store for the second time in 2 days and got enough food for 2 weeks, just in case we're on total lockdown. Yeah, make sure you have your medications. Ask for help. Yeah, the key is to be prepared, right? So make sure, I'm not too concerned with water. My hallucination is that if there's a water issue, we have a bigger issue than coronavirus. So it's just gotten to New Zealand. Thank you, Kathleen. So Lee, keeping it what it is, as long as, Murat, most of it shows that work on, most of the shows you work on are postponed. So Sir, you're going shopping, the gym and yoga. Yeah, I've stopped going to the gym just because, this virus is exchanged, human sweat, surfaces last for days, some surfaces. So again, we're all in this together. If it affects you, it affects me, and vice versa. And I'm just going to try and keep the dialogue open, the dialogue real, no sugarcoating. Hopefully we contain it fast. Then great. Then we have been prepared. And I prefer to be prepared than ill-prepared and ill-equipped. Right? All right. Yeah, so Kathy, you're worried about getting enough food for your grandchildren. I hope this passes quickly. Yeah, I hope so too, dear. Taking allergy meds. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. All right, so that's about it for today. I'm going to try and come on probably every day and just do a little dialogue and just share with you what's on my mind. I'm watching a bunch of different whatchamacallit, not watching, but I'm following a bunch of different sites. So for example, I'm trying to find, while I'm talking right now, where is the CDC here? Yeah, the CDC is one of the best places to to take a look at for information. I also on my Facebook fan page, I did a video and I posted a link to watching the transmission, but also on my Instagram page, I'm posting some stuff. So pay attention to my Facebook fan page, my Instagram page as well. I'm dialoguing on both of those. I tweet a little bit as well. I'm not a big tweeter, but tweeting enough just to keep in the dialogue. All right. In that case, everybody have an awesome day. I appreciate you, or an awesome evening. I'll check in tomorrow again and enter the dialogue with me on either one of my social media, Instagram, Facebook fan page. I have 2 Facebook pages. One's a regular page. I don't do much on there, but my Facebook fan page, I do quite a bit. All right. Thanks so much. Have an awesome next 24 hours. Stay healthy. Stay aware. Don't panic. Don't have anxiety over this. Stay calm and make wise decisions. Bye now.